Have you seen a juggler balancing different balls in the air? Amazing skill, isn't it? But do you know a world-class juggler can't rotate more than 13 balls beyond just a few seconds? A people pleaser is just like a juggler, except this time instead of balls in the air which needs to be managed, it is people who are to be managed. And this is done by doing something that pleases them.
I used to be a people pleaser.
And these are important people around you. They may be your parents, teachers, your friends, colleagues, girlfriend, boyfriend, neighbors. Welcome to the most widespread but totally underreported disease of the world, the disease to please.
I'm a textbook people pleaser. I have a serious problem.
Hi, this is Vicky here from Book Took, where I introduce you to the finest books and transformational ideas from world-class thinkers, experts and achievers. In one short video, you'll get to learn what others may take months, years or even a lifetime. Today I'm sharing with you an insightful book written by Harriet B. Bariker, who was a clinical psychologist for 25 years before writing this book. In fact, Oprah, while confessing suffering from the disease herself, encouraged Harriet to write this book as she greatly admired her work in this field. This is a highly practical and fantastic resource, not just to learn how to cure your disease to please, but also how to build a strong self-esteem. When do people catch this disease? Being a people pleaser usually starts as a desirable behavior when you were small, because everyone seems to like you for being such a nice kid. It gets you appreciation and reputation of being well behaved. Every time you notice a smiling face and appreciative eyes, there is a certain burst of energy inside you. It charges you up. Efforts feel rewarded and everything looks beautiful. You feel happiest in the moment. People pleasing is an odd problem. At first glance, it may not even seem like a problem at all. In fact, the phrase people pleaser might feel more like a compliment that you proudly wear as a badge of honor. After all, what's wrong with trying to make others happy? Shouldn't we all strive to please the people we love and even those we just like a lot? Surely the world would be a happier place if there were more people pleasers. Or would it be? The truth is that people pleasing is a sweet sounding name for a serious psychological problem. It's a deep swamp which consumes you moment by moment and inch by inch. Although you may never say it aloud, but people pleasing is like you demanding certain type of behavior from other people and yourself. From others, you expect them to approve you, appreciate you and care for you. Since people can't read your thoughts, and even if they did, no one is obligated to give you what you want, not at least all the time. Result is you set yourself up to feel angry, disappointed and depressed. And from yourself, you demand to always behave in a way which pleases people till it's all over you, or at least don't do anything that causes people to dislike you. But there are times when you feel pulled in more than one direction, trying to meet the needs of several people. Whom should you please? How should you choose? What if you end up pleasing no one? You may have heard this story about a farmer and his son who were taking their donkey into town to sell him. As they walked along, they passed a neighbor lady. "What a waste," she said. "One of you ought to ride on the donkey." The farmer stopped and placed his son on the donkey's back. Next, they walked past an old man in his garden. "How shameful," he said. "Doesn't your boy have any respect for his elders?" Immediately the boy got off the donkey and his father got on. They passed two school teachers. One said to the other, "Look how mean the father is to his son. He's riding the donkey and makes the boy walk." The father reached down and lifted up the boy, setting him in front. The donkey walked much slower now, carrying his heavy load. They passed the blacksmith at the edge of town. He paused from his work, looked up and scolded, "How cruel of you to overwork your donkey this way. The two of you are strong enough to carry him." Awkward as it was, the father and his son managed to pick up the donkey and carry him through the town. They came to the man who was to buy the donkey. He laughed. "I'm not going to buy a donkey that can't even walk to the market." In situations like this, where you fail to please everyone, you set yourself to feel guilty and inadequate. This is a classic catch-22 where you come up on losing side every time you play. Now the question is, if this is so bad, why so many people remain stuck in this mental loop of people pleasing? As I shared, people pleasing game starts like an exciting goal when you were small. In fact, in this phase of life, you get more and more approval, which solidifies this dysfunctional behavior. And every time you get what you crave for, your mind releases a chemical called dopamine, which is why any behavior becomes addictive. Problem is, when you grow up with this addiction, you have no individuality, no deep sense of purpose to live a good life. But the worst is, you gradually even don't get the approval that you crave for and are wasting your life looking to please people you want to please. No matter how good a juggler you become, there are only so many people you can please. Sooner or later, somebody gets disappointed with you. Someone doesn't care about you no matter what you do or don't do. This is the moment when you can feel that you are addicted, as it creates unpleasant feelings inside you. Even if you are successful in pleasing everyone in a given day, the relief it gives you never seems to last long. It's a leaky bucket. No matter how much water you pour into it, nothing stays for long. Every day is a new day and you have to win the approval again of the people around you. Over the years, this never-ending chase becomes tiring and you get exhausted. And maybe this is the first time you even come to terms with this mental behavior of seeking approval not leading you anywhere. But you don't know how to get rid of this. It feels so automatic and natural that even before you realize it, your mind leaps into behaving a certain way around people you want to impress. People-pleasing thoughts drive you to strive for everyone to like you. People-pleasing habits make you feel the need to take care of others' needs at the expense of your own. And people-pleasing feelings make you avoid the frightening and uncomfortable feelings whenever you sense a conflict in some situation. As you can see, the price of being a people pleaser is extremely high. You live an inauthentic life. Being a people pleaser, you cannot express negative feelings. Your relationships don't have the authenticity and you come across as one-dimensional. You find it difficult to say no, and some people may sometimes manipulate and exploit your willingness to please them. While you get occasional dopamine doses whenever someone seems to be pleased, but otherwise you are forever unhappy. What can you do? People pleasers' core thought pattern, which keeps running their mind over and over again, is other people should appreciate and love me because of all the things I do for them. Other people should always like and approve me because of how hard I work to please them. Other people should be kind and caring to me in return because of how well I treat them. Other people should never hurt me or treat me unfairly because I'm so nice to them. The very first step is you need to be aware of these thoughts which are running in the background and correct these at the level of language by replacing these should with would prefer. For example, I would prefer that others wouldn't reject me is more realistic statement than command that prohibits others from doing so. It also allows you for the possibility that another might reject you for reasons that have to do with that individual's biases rather than you or your shortcomings. Remember, the impact of just one change, one small step on any side will unleash a chain reaction of progress leading toward your recovery. The important point is that conquering the disease to please phobia comes through exposure to the fear itself. If you don't know swimming and are water phobic, you don't jump into the pool in one go, but you enter the shallow side and with someone who can guide you. You need to get into water slowly and one step at a time. Practice this with someone loud who can support you. Learn to say no to small requests. To start with, you can say to any request on your time or effort that,
I have a request.
Yes?
I'd like you to meet my mother.
I see. Can I get back to you on that?
Certainly. Good night.
Good night.
it will feel bad, but be with this feeling and remind yourself that you're saying yes to yourself. There's nothing wrong or unhealthy about valuing the approval of others, especially those you love and respect. Wanting to be liked by others is perfectly natural human desire. But if your preference for being liked and approved becomes mandatory, or if the consequence of disapproval seems tragic to your peace of mind, you're crossed over into dangerous psychological territory where the ice can get very thin. Nobody's born a people pleaser. Importantly, since people pleasing is a learned behavior, it can be unlearned in ways that are more effective and less costly emotionally and physically. The most important, effective, and lasting source of approval is the acceptance you give to yourself. That was it for this video. Hope you found this useful. If you like this book summary, do share with at least one more friend who can benefit from the same, or dislike and share your feedback. See you with a new book. Till then, have fun and be limitless.